Welcome to Amanda Hall's Psychic Mini Workshop Series here on Facebook Live every Wednesday morning from the Gold Coast here in Australia. It's absolutely a beautiful, crisp, early morning here. It's our autumn season, or for those of our overseas viewers, it's fall. And it's a really interesting term, that fall, because in other parts of Australia where the leaves do change colour and they turn brown and fall off the trees and the trees become bare, here on the Gold Coast we really don't have many trees that actually change colour. It's a little bit hard for a palm tree to change colour and for it to lose all its palm fronds because the seasons are changing. So we really don't experience that beautiful colour change of fall as other people do in other parts of the country. And this time last year I was fortunate enough to be in Australia's capital in Canberra, and it was absolutely magnificent as you drive around the streets there and you see the trees that have been planted from all around the world, and there really is the changing of the season there. The leaves are changing colours, the trees are absolutely magnificent, and you really do get the sense of, you know, autumn or fall being in the air. And, you know, the mornings were very crisp and the day was beautiful and sunny, but the nights were quite chilly. And it was sort of like it's a very definite, distinct season change. Where here on the Gold Coast, yes, we get a little bit of a season change where, you know, it's a little bit cooler than it was. And yes, it's getting cold enough of a night to have a blanket. But we really don't get that really huge transition between the seasons. Yes, it gets cold here in the winter, believe me, it does. And I'll be complaining about that soon enough. But we don't get the 4 distinct seasons like other parts of the world do. Anyway, enough about the weather here on the Gold Coast. This week we have a busy show. We're working with the word passion this week. Now, passion's one of those words that sort of conjures up thoughts of our mind of, you know, steamy romantic nights with our loved one and, you know, the excitement of a new romance or keeping the passion or the romance alive in our existing relationship. Well, passion's one of those ambiguous words that it doesn't always just mean one thing. And because that's the first place that our head goes to is passion, we think of steamy romantic nights. It's not always the case. Passion is something that we all have in our lives, in our everyday lives. And it's something that we all need to work with. And you're sort of scratching your head and saying, gee, she's really lost it today. Well, no, I haven't, because passion is one of those things. It's a little bit like ego or drive. It's what gets us out of bed of a morning and makes us really want to go forward in our lives. And I do apologise. We've got a lighting issue at the moment going on here in the studio. The bulb's just blown. So we're going to do it a little bit in dark now. So I hope that that's okay with everybody. So it's really interesting when we use the word passion and our light decided to flicker and go out for us, but we all need to have passion in our lives because that's what drives us forward. So I suppose before we go too far into the workshop, I better get some T's and C's out of the road. My name's Amanda Hall, Psychic. I live here on the Gold Coast. Been in the psychic industry for over 40 years here in Australia. I've been inducted into the Psychic Hall of Fame and won many industry awards for my dedication to the industry over the years. This is not a workshop where I give away complimentary or free readings. It is a teaching workshop where we work with a soy candle and we work with the subject or the topic at hand for the week. And in this instance, we're working with the word passion. So I want you to be very aware of that. I don't give shout outs during the presentation. I like to keep it as seamless as possible, but please feel free to leave your name, where you are around the world. And if you have a question that relates to the subject at hand that we're talking about, I will gladly answer that for you. I will not under any circumstances answer any other questions, and I do not give personal free readings. If you want the opportunity to have a free reading with me, can I suggest that you tune into my previous show on A1R Psychic Radio out of the USA at Moonstruck TV here on Facebook Live half an hour earlier before this presentation. So this week we're talking about the word passion. Now, passion, as I said, isn't always about romance and reigniting the passion in our marriage or our relationship. It's about the passion that we have for life. Now, many people can relate to this. There's been many times, I'm sure, in your life where you sort of feel as if the energy is not exactly with you. You know you should get motivated. You've got some things on the agenda that you need to start working with. But at the same time, you sort of feel as if, my heavens, nothing's really working for me. I've lost my mojo, as I hear a lot of people use that word recently. I haven't got the energy to get up and start new things in my life. Now, I want to sort of say to you, sometimes I think it's about regrouping and looking at what is important to us in our life, and not always looking at the things that maybe we think we should be doing. I think we sometimes as human beings put unrealistic expectations on ourselves and what we should be achieving in life, and expecting that we need to do more or have more coming out of our lives. Again, I apologize for the light flickering here in the studio. It's deciding it's going to go on and off all the time for us, so it's giving us a little light show that we didn't ask for, so that's great. So it's interesting that it's with the workshop called Passion. So passion is something that I think we all need to bring into our lives on a daily basis, and it's something that I feel that we sadly overlook a lot of the times, because we sort of think that it always just relates to the word romance. Now, when I'm talking about passion, you might have something new that you want to get off the ground. You might have a project that you've been working on for a very, very long time, and you sort of feel that it's got a bit humdrum, or you've lost your interest, or you've lost your drive, or you've lost your passion to try and sort of push the project forward, or to put some extra energy into it and start to make it happen. So when we sort of feel like this, it's time, I think, to sit down and relook at something. Let's just use an example of you're trying to write a book. And at the beginning, you were very passionate, you were very enthusiastic, you had ideas running every which way, and there was just so much running through your head. You couldn't even get it down on paper quick enough, or get to the keyboard of the computer and try and get all your ideas down. It was just running at a fast pace of knots. Then you sort of, you went gung-ho for a while, and then all of a sudden you were trying to get into this routine of every day you were going to spend an hour on this book, and you'd sit down in front of the keyboard and your mind would go blank. And you sort of think to yourself, well, that's great. How come my mind's going blank? Oh, well, I'll come back and do it tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and the same thing happens. And this goes on for a period of weeks. And all of a sudden you think, oh, well, I'm not meant to be doing that now. So you put it to one side. So you've sort of lost your passion, or you've lost your oomph with it. So you sort of tend to think then, this is not what I need to be doing. So sometimes I think we as human beings, I think we talk ourselves in and out of what it is that we're supposed to be doing. And instead of looking at it and saying, well, okay, maybe it's time to have a little rest from this, go away, regroup, come back and look at it with different eyes, then we will find that maybe our passion or our drive will come back to us. So when we're working with a new situation like this, or something that we need to reinvent or reorganize or reignite the passion in it, how do we go about it? Well, I like to sort of leave things alone for a little while and then come back and approach it as if I've got a fresh set of eyes looking at the situation. Not going back and looking at what I've done previously and saying to myself, okay, well, this is why this didn't work and that didn't work. But I try and look at it as if it's a brand new project. I've never seen it before. And I look at it and try and ignite the passion or the starting point again. So that then hopefully we get a different set of ideas. We get something there that gives us something we can run with, that we can work on. But to enhance that situation, I usually like to work with my passion candle. Now, when I'm working with my passion candle, I write down on the list of what it is that I'm trying to work on. And at the moment, I've been trying to sort of really get my head around the potential of maybe writing another astrology book. And every time I go to it, I sort of think, oh, I've been there and I've done that, and I've done what I wanted to achieve with that. But then I sort of think, but I have so much knowledge in astrology, and wouldn't it be a shame if I didn't share that with people and show them how that, astrology is really a major part of our lives, whether we believe in it or not. It really does govern our lives. So for me, it's been really difficult to find that beginning point, that passion of what it is that I'm hoping to achieve by writing a new astrology book. So it is a work in progress at the moment for me, and I have this written down on my list that I need some innovative ideas, or the starting point, or the formula to ignite my passion to write the second book in astrology. What is it that I'm hoping to achieve? So I've got that under my candle, but I've also got a pad where I'm periodically throughout the day, if something comes into my mind, I jot it down so that I can go back and look at it again in another couple of weeks and see what actually comes out of my brainstorming, or the little ideas that I've got on my pad that are helping me decide maybe the framework of my next book. Now, this may not happen. It may be something that might seem pie in the sky, and it might be something I might never achieve or might never wish to achieve. But at least I've got a point of focus. And I think we have to have passion in our lives and have projects on the horizon and things that give us joy, things that keep our mind functioning, things that keep us motivated and getting out of bed of a day. Because I believe the moment we haven't got a dream to be aspiring to is the day that we say that, well, that's it, we've completed our journey here on earth. And for me, I hope that day never comes. I know it will, but I have so many things that I would like to achieve and still get to achieve in my lifetime. And one of those things is helping people find their passion. I've always been a motivating type of reader where no matter how bleak our lives are, I always believe there's something positive or something exciting that we've still got yet left in our lives to do, or something that we can be aspiring and moving towards. So that's our passion candle. Now, our extra large candle will burn for approximately 60 hours. And I want you to write your list out, read it out aloud, pop it underneath the candle, popping the candle on a coaster, never leaving it unattended under, open windows, air conditioners, around pets and children. Now, for those of you that want a smaller candle and want to take it into the office, or maybe want to take it traveling with you, or pop it on your work desk where you're sort of trying to get your motivation for what you're passionate about, we have a travel kit here. It's made up of 3 candles. And these little candles will burn for about 15 hours each. They're compact. You can pop them in your handbag. And these make a great opportunity to be able to work in the same way as a bigger candle and, take it with you to work. Maybe you want to get the energy moving in the office because everybody seems to be half asleep because they're heading into winter and they all want to hibernate like a bear. For those of you that don't want to work with a candle, but you still want to work with the energy of the passion candle, can I suggest to you a melt warmer? You can pick these up at your local department store, supermarket. They're very inexpensive. 2 teaspoons of the soy wax in the melt warmer at the top. It's electric. You plug it in, switch it on. Write your list out, read it out aloud, pop it underneath the melt warmer, popping it onto a coaster. You can safely leave that going all day, remembering to switch it off the night before you finish. Now, that's how we work with passion. Now, passion can, if we're looking to reignite the passion in our relationship, how would we go about that? Well, we would go about it in the same very similar way that we've been talking about reigniting passion in our lives in other areas. So we would be looking at passion in a relationship as sitting down and looking at, why am I trying to reignite the passion in my relationship? Is it because I believe that our relationship has become so humdrum and we just do the same things week in, week out? We go to work, we come home, we clean the house, we do the gardening, we see friends, we see family, and then we do it all again next week. And it's sort of like it's become robotic. And you might think, well, maybe if I don't do something about this, maybe our love will die because everything's very predictable. We can't always live, I believe, in the area of being passionate all the time or always in the honeymoon phase of a relationship. If we did that, we would never get the development and the growth and the deeper meaning of what a committed relationship or a marriage is about. And marriages and relationships grow and deepen over the years, and they do become more mature, and the ground rules and the direction of the relationship changes as our lives change and we evolve and grow and we become more mature, and our things that are important to us may not be as important in 6 months or 12 months or 2 years' time. So therefore our relationship should evolve and grow with it. That doesn't mean that we can't have any passion in our relationship. What it means is we have to find new things that ignite the passion in the relationship, that match the relationship for the stage that it's at. So it's time now that I think that we can all put our thinking caps on and look at how we can maybe reignite some passion in our personal relationships. And some people say, oh, that's all too hard, I don't know what to do. Well, maybe start with something simple. When was the last time that you spent some quality time together doing something different? Something that you have talked about doing for a very long time, but life, work, family, commitments have got in the road that you've never had that opportunity. Look at the feasibility of maybe trying that now or planning for that now, that will bring some passion and some excitement and some sparkle into the relationship. So I feel that we need to be looking at passion in a very, very different way moving forward. There's many areas of our lives that we can be passionate about. There's many areas that we can sort of look to bring some sparkle back into things. And we don't always have to be sort of the leader in every field. Sometimes just being happy with ourselves and saying, well, I still have the passion for life, but I choose not to go rock climbing now because, my physical body mightn't want to keep up with where my spirit might want to go, but we can find other ways of still igniting that our passion for rock climbing in another way. Maybe it's something that you can do in an indoor venue instead of climbing down the face of a mountain. Maybe it's something that you can use your knowledge and your passion in teaching and training other people, or doing an instructional video on it, or writing a book about it. There's many different ways to ignite our passion in the things that give us the joy in life. For me, I've had many, many things in my life that have given me great passion and great joy. And one of those things that I'm very passionate about is music. I always find passion in music. For me, music ignites my soul. It makes me want to get up and do something different. And if I ever feel sort of not in balance or not in harmony, I put some uplifting music on the turntable. And for me, I find that helps me find my passion again. It helps me motivate myself to find a new direction, a new way of thinking, a new way of looking at an issue, and sort of even things that I might not necessarily want to do, but I need to find some passion to do it. I find music helps me with that. For other people, it might be going for a walk in nature, or going to the beach, or going to the water. There's many different forms of passion that come into our lives. So I want you to think about over the next few days, what are some of the areas of your life that you could reignite the passion in? How can you do that? What is it that you can do for yourself? For those of you that don't have my candles and don't wish to purchase one, that's perfectly fine. The workshop's not about a selling tool for you to race off to my website and buy a candle. Yes, you can do that if you wish to, but I like to try and educate and help people sort of reignite an area of their life, and this week it's passion. So for those of you that might have a cupboard full of candles at home, can I suggest that you use those first? Because what I want you to do is look at it in this way. If you have a candle at home that you haven't used before, and you've sort of thought, I've never known what to do with it, I want you to take your candle, hold it in your hand, close your eyes, and imagine that you're infusing your candle, whether it's in a container or whether it's not, rubbing it gently and saying, I'm infusing passion into my candle. This is going to be my passion candle. And you keep telling yourself that that's what you're doing. You're infusing your candle with passion. For those of you that mightn't have candles in the cupboard, but you've got a household grade candle in the drawer for a blackout, you can do the same thing with that. Closing your eyes, imagining that. The important thing is to put the intent, purpose and direction into the candle that you're working with. Yes, the soy candles that I've designed and worked with for a number of years now are something that each candle has been individually designed and infused with a particular fragrance and a color to help enhance the candle that it's been named after. So in this case, the passion candle was infused with passion. It just gives you, I suppose, a little bit of a head start. But I appreciate not everybody has the time or the luxury of money to be purchasing the candles from my range. But if you do wish to purchase a candle from my range, you can head to my website, www.amandahallpsychic.com.au. You will see a picture on the front page of my website where it has a picture of a candle. Click on that and that'll take you through to our candle range. We have 28 in the range, so we have something for everyone. We have the extra large candles and the mini candles in the gift box. With the mini candles in the gift box, you don't have to have 3 candles the same. You can choose any 3 out of the 28 in the gift box. We're happy to send them anywhere in Australia free of charge. For our overseas family, we have a flat fee of postage, which has been heavily reduced in the last couple of months. We've got a new carrier that's been able to offer us a massive discount. And for our overseas family, you can put as many things as you like in the trolley for that one flat fee. So if you want to buy a few things, maybe save your dollars and your pennies up for that and make your purchase all in one go, and it'll make it certainly a lot more economical for international freight. So until next week, I hope you have an absolutely awesome week. And if you're here in Australia and New Zealand, I want you to take the time this Thursday on Anzac Day, our important day for our returned soldiers and the people that passed away in previous world wars and other wars around the world. Take the time to honour these people. Without them, we would not have the freedom and the amazing countries that we have without their service. And for those people that are overseas, this is like our Veterans Day here in Australia. It's Australia and New Zealand Army Corps, and that's how the word Anzac comes about. You'll see on the set in the background there, I have George with his hat on. That represents our collectively our returned soldiers. And many people here in Australia will be eating Anzac Day bickies on the day itself. And there's a big controversy at the moment about, you know, whether or not we have the right to change the basic recipe of our Anzac biscuits. It's all over the news. And now there's a heavy fine for those that choose to do that in a business sense or even a professional sense. Our Anzac biscuits were designed initially, they were sent to the boys in the trenches. They were a biscuit that they didn't go off, they kept for a long time, and it gave them something to remember and feel a little bit closer to home. So I really think we don't have the right to change the basic recipe of our Anzac biscuits. I know in our household, it's one of our main staples as far as in our bicky tin. Even when my children were growing up, it was something that they enjoyed. And it was something that I think most Australians and New Zealanders really still to this day really honour and respect. So wherever you are in the world of ours on Thursday the 25th, just spare a thought for our Australian and New Zealand returned men and the people that didn't make it back to our shores, and just give them a little minute of your time to just honour all of our returned men and soldiers around the world. Until next week, bye for now.